It's a great start for FUT here. They take map 1 in this lower bracket match against Fnatic. I'm your host, Yingsun, and I'm back here with Billy and joined by Kakuka once again. Welcome back. But the thing is, we were really loving what Fnatic were able to do on Abyss yesterday, but it feels like Kakuka, they forgot about all of that. We reverted back to the results they had before.
I wonder how much they expected FUT to be peeking into this Abyss, right? Because they wanted to change things up. I assume that they thought, hey, they're going to be very prepared. Of course, the composition is different. I think that makes a big difference, and we saw it on the stage. But the way that they were not able to close it on the second half, the same way that they were struggling yesterday was what surprised me, actually, coming in from FUT.
Yeah, I think that what we've seen today was, I mean, as soon as we got to see Fnatic's defense, we've seen before on other maps as well, there's flaws in their defense at times, you know, like there's just the team cohesion kind of not goes out the window, but it's not the best in what we're used to seeing them. And I think as well that when they were playing against Gentlemates the other day, you know, Gentlemates are similar to Fnatic in the sense that they're a slow approach structured team, but when you're coming up against an opponent like FUT, they don't really play down by the clock, do they? They're just all in on it.
Alpha very smart there to not eat a banana on camera, but a rice cake. But here's the thing on the side of FUT, we saw 2 aces in one half for Zeus. Do you guys want to guess who the current player that's leading in the ace department is? You want to have a guess? You remember any of them?
Having aces here in EMEA?
Yeah, just at Kickoff.
At Kickoff?
Yeah, Kickoff only.
I don't know.
Highest ACS?
No, aces.
Oh, highest aces. I want to say Fluorescent.
Floor had 1, but Cloud had 2. But Cloud did not get them in the same half. Zeus did, and Cloud has been eliminated. So if Zeus can win today and have a little bit more opportunity, he probably will end up leading in that department because they just can't kill him.
Whatever happens with this match, even if FUT isn't able to close this one out, I think that Zeus is going to be one of the hot topics when we get onto stage 1. Because even the other day, when FUT were losing and they were getting destroyed by Vitality, he was still performing.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, right? We've got a player that's coming up from Tier 2, playing on the Tier 1 stage now, and I think that he's actually jumped into that role perfectly. I think that you can see how well he's getting along with the rest of the guys on FUT, and it seems like a really good merge so far.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why that everybody thought that he would be the most sought after player, and he was in the off season. Yutajay, however, showed us a different side to him today. He played that Vice. We were all talking about how we want to see more Vice, and you can just see on the defense really how oppressive it was.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Yutajay on this Vice is a very welcome change. His anchor impact was really well. This round in particular, you see Fnatic head towards that B side, and then they have to go back to A. And they don't destroy any of the Vice utility initially to get rid of any of it, so it just leaves them kind of having to wait around. There was so much stall potential, and I think that Sugetsu as well was also being able to adapt in the moment, right? We've seen him switch up setups on B site, we've seen him switch whatever site he was heading to, so yeah, it was really nice for him.
Yeah, but let's talk about what happened as the side switched as well, because Kakuka, Fnatic had a very good opportunity to close this one out, but what happened?
Yeah, exactly. As I was saying, the way that they were able to close their previous match, and something that actually we're going to see a lot coming in for Fracture, is those retakes, right? FUT also understood this as their winning condition. So they have to understand the layers that they have to put into their post plan. First, putting one player moved across this ultimate so he can have the impact. Even if he goes down, it doesn't matter because Atta Captain is on the other side waiting for the smoke. They know that Fnatic want to play a 5vx retake. That is one of their winning conditions, and this is the way that they manage to dismantle it. Maybe Fnatic invests too much in cleaning the first part of that Cosmic Divide and does not leave enough for the second one. But this is the kind of rounds that FUT was able to put on the board that took them to win this match.
Yeah, and over again, right? It was like 5 rounds in a row that they were able to do this exact thing you just described. But let's talk about the next one here on Fracture. My eyes really do go towards Alpha here. Alpha was one of the really big win contentions for them yesterday and last week, and every game I think they have ever played on the history of this roster. And Billy, he just wasn't, he was a little bit too cold to get into the game. Once he got into the game on Abyss, he was shooting, but we need to see him get into the game a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think maybe the screaming coming out from Sugetsu is maybe starting to get to the side of Fnatic a little bit. But yeah, I think that as soon as we see Alpha activated, as soon as we see Kayak Alpha activated as well, I think that we'll start to see Fnatic pop off. But I also don't want them to feel as though that the whole team need to rely on those two to pop off, right? They should be able to kind of get these rounds together. I think a lot of what we've seen as well was fundamentals. Like they need to learn to kind of swing together, trade off one another. I think they got unlucky in some of those rounds there, but yeah, we can't just be relying on two players in the team.
I think that they need to think about that first half on Abyss, what they were doing, how they were trying to work around on mid, how even if this was a surprise for them, there was a plan to not hit A every single round, to actually work the map, prepare different timings, learn to play against different compositions, right? If you want to be a super team, if you want to be top in your region, you need to be able to do this. Now they're jumping into something that they should be very feeling very comfortable in.
Yeah, and the really, I guess, peculiar situation it does feel like it's the first time in the history of these two teams that FUT are looking like the super team. FUT are on paper the super team. The roster changes they made in the offseason, I feel like points towards that, whereas Fnatic, you know, a little bit more shaky here, a little bit more of an underdog status, and Zeus is going to play the Neon.
I absolutely love that. I think that it fits him a lot. Along those lines, I want to see how Fallen is going to be playing with him. Did you know that Krax is the only player in the entire world that plays KO on Fracture?
Yeah, and also on every map.
Yeah.
He's played, the only KO players play KO on every single map there is. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I think looking at this agent select, I think Zeus jumping onto that Neon is a very welcome change. But looking over at the other side on Fnatic, I think that we've seen a lot of great stuff coming out from Kayak on that raise yesterday. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how those two duelists match up together.
Yeah, I'm still not 1000% on the KO. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I think that the information can be very misleading. I like how he's going to have that extra information for the post-ban, because again, Fnatic are going to rely a lot on those magnificent retakes.
It was absolute heartbreak when FUT eliminated Fnatic at Masters last year. Mitch and Tom, if Fnatic want to avoid that fate, they have to start by winning this map.
Well, Tom, you know, looking back at the last 5 series they've played, it's always been a trade back and forth. Fnatic, the ones to claim it last time, that was after the Masters match. Now, perhaps it's FUT's time to rise to glory yet again. Moving into this 1-0 in the lead, but this is Fnatic's map pick, Tom. How much do you think, not the map pick, but the compositions are going to play into this? Zeus on the Neon.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, but I want to add one thing before as well. If Fnatic lose here, that's the Stage 1 and Stage 2 champion eliminated before even getting into those lower matches. Like, it really would be a change from what we've seen. Maybe Kickoff is cursed, but yes, as you said, that Neon facing up against a comp that doesn't have a traditional Sentinel is perfect. It means that he can take so much space, he can get in their face, and I actually like the KO as a response to playing a chamber. Here we go, though.
And they're right into taking sound control, no doubt. Zeus is going to be pretty pacey with a lot of these early fights. The guy is on a Neon at the end of the day, and you're not playing against a Cypher. So much that he can do. Claiming control up top above the smokes. Looks like Zeus will have to come and join the pack. Krax has already ripped 2 heads off, and site has been claimed. An easy plant and a retreat back to A main, defended by a trap wire behind. Although they lose Mr. Fallen on the way out and some valuable breach utility, this round will be very difficult to recover for the remaining Fnatic players.
They spam up top. Yes, I got the aftershock there instead. If I know though, surely we're not going to see another one for the side of FUT. Zeus has already proven that he is the master of the aces. Krax can't quite get it over the line. And now Crashies has to try and fight it back! He manages to get a couple within a second. And it's down to Ada Captain. We talked about it last time FUT played this map. It was Yedoje and Ada Captain in late round clutches. And while I think he's already done what was needed of him, it will eventually move him out of position. And wow, he'll hit that final shot, but it won't matter in the end. But get it done, but oh, what an exciting way to kick off the map.
Yes, indeed. Well, if it was 2 out of 3 pistols with an ace for FUT, you know, we're going to have to start looking into either how Fnatic play pistols or what the hell's going on in FUT. This shot was nice. The follow-up was sublime. Now, you could argue Chronicle and Alpha probably should have been on that line together, but waiting for a flash, etc. Jeez. And even gets the final, but time.
Hey, you know,
it's cruel.
This is Crashy's map. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Last time around, this is your map. 1-0. FUT with a strong start. Again, you're going to expect pacey hits. Zeus is claiming space consistently. He's not scared. Typically, you're going to have to at least burn some util to get rid of those Cypher tripwires. They don't exist. No issue then. You just run it down and take control, especially against these pistols. Taking sand and longer range angles should be a safe enough bet. But Alphayear, he's got the headhunter. Didn't find the head, but the body on Ada Captain is enough. And a 5v3 with the spike planted. This is a very winnable round for Fnatic. All of a sudden, and Alphayear's got another! And that is outrageous.
This is starting to get scary. More than scary. The only thing now is that a lot of that weaponry has dissipated. No more bullets left. It will come down to trades. This is kind of where I want to see the Fnatic players group up. Look to play this one together instead. Some isolated fights, but it doesn't matter. They're going to win every single one of them. Maybe the most peculiar in-zone flawless I've ever seen.
Everything's topsy-turvy here. It's just not making sense. They come into this with practically nothing. Although the headhunter always going to be there, a pay-safe card, thrifty, an in-zone flawless,
both,
whatever you want to call it. It's a round that should not have fallen into Fnatic's hands. That shot there as well on the cracks. You just remove everything they've got left to work with, and the breach is on site. A smile on Alphayear says it all.
We bumped into him last time he played Chamber.
It's true.
They won the map, and he went, bro, like playing Chamber, like it's so difficult. Like, and you're just like, shut up.
Make it look very difficult.
Shut up. Like, this was in the map where he hit a collat headshot with the headhunter as well. Well, Fnatic have won a round clean. They never should have won at all. That is one hell of a dent for FUT to have to try and deal with. Now, one of the things that is a bit more interesting with that KO is the knife can leave Alphayear in positions where he can't escape. That's the whole sort of value of the kit, is being able to take really aggressive positions and then teleport right back into safety. If you can catch him, it makes things that a little bit tougher. For now, though, they're at least going to clear out that there isn't much space. Of course, the trap is watching, just so they can't take full control.
Destroyed.
Alpha, very much the hot knife to FUT's butter. Nobody's wearing even light shields. Not that it would make a difference up against this outlaw. I think he's a little under pressure. A little surrounded. Players coming in heaven. Players coming from arcade. One in main as well, but Zeus only meets his maker right off rip, and Alpha gets out into the smoke. Nice little retreat plant, though, for the side of FUT, and perhaps a chance for their pistols to take some close range angles. That was a deep flash used, and a swing. It's a little disorientating for the side of FUT. They're not quite there together, but at least able to drop one. Some more would be great, but too big of an ask. So Fnatic with the defuse, they push up to 2.
Alpha getting the defusal as well is actually important. Tour de force. They've already got a huge bonus in terms of their economy by the weapons they retrieved in prior rounds. Now he gets a tour de force. They'll go into what is technically their attempt at a bonus. And they'll have rifles on every single player. And there you go. He's even gonna... Okay, that I was not expecting. He's bought into an op while he has one in his back pocket. Dropped the other sniper over to Kayak. I wouldn't have gambled on that being the decision, but hey. I'm not... It's Alphayear. He can do what he wants.
To each their own. And to Alphayear, most certainly. Whatever he likes.
It's double sniper tech.
Well, I mean, he's not going to use his ult, obviously, with Cracks having his own ultimate. The null command would just immediately...
That is true.
The double sniper is questionable for the side of Fnatic. They don't have it anymore. The Outlaw was, I guess, is a backup. It should be on the floor somewhere, presumably. Whether it's going to see usage anymore, well, that is the question. Not much of a question. I imagine it won't. Side has been taken by FUT, but a complete retake setup from Fnatic. They're far back. They're not looking to give any opportunities away to their opponents. And so they shall have to wait. Hunter's Fury is there. Operator for Alpha is there.
Here.
But with FUT getting this so quickly, they did burn up a lot of utility at least. It's still going to be quite difficult. They've got a lot of positions that they're... It's a blind Hunter's Fury. It does clear heaven though. Doesn't get the kill.
Dancing for his life. The rest of the players relatively passive. Pop flash utilized in an attempt to delay. Already going to have to try and dodge some of that utility thrown in. Yedaje has found one to sort of kick things off, and the trade's going firmly in the favor. And as that clock ticks, it gets tougher and tougher. A nice shot from Kayak to end it, but it will just be the escape from the remaining two. A bit of damage done in what was not really a bonus in the end because of how much they ended up spending. And for FUT, an all-important round, being able to break through those ultimates as well.
Yes, indeed. This is a round where I think if the Hunter's Fury wasn't committed and we saw an earlier call to save, perhaps you'd think it was a bit more of a positive, but that ult trade out, that really is the bottom line for FUT, equalizing the scoreline. Weapons still there, obviously, for their opponents in this round. They're going to have to contend with that operator, the Alpha Year saved, a 6-1 start for him and Crashies. It's not an easy way back in. Let's see what this attack side has planned. Again, every single round that goes by, where Zeus isn't sliding into an angle once those barriers go up, feels like a round wasted. But he doesn't find any contact. This Fnatic are constantly wary of this, as you can see. They're falling back and taking them as they push in.
Pretty happy. Just play on those angles, and for Zeus, this has not been the start that they've been looking for. Even still, though, they will end up with FUT in that post spawn. And a lot of the time, although there's a hell of a lot of utility for Fnatic, it can be difficult to get back in.
Well, that's it, and they have to do well on this A main fight. Still a trap, protecting that backside. They'll know there's more players coming this way. Out of Captain to use this Cosmic Divide to make it harder to push forward on the site. The drone is being used by Crashies, but they come through Sand, through main, and into Ada Captain. A nice opening pick to start with. Alpha tag down low. Time still ticking. They're going to have to take some risks now. Run forward into these angles and give the fights to FUT. The stun has caught Krax though, and with Yedege down, the pressure's now on. Surrounded on the side is Mr. Fallen. He has to take them all down, and he hasn't quite got what it takes. The time though has ran too low. So even with the picks, they just timed it slightly too late, and a Red Bull clutch found, even in death.
I don't know who you give that one over to, Mr. Fallen, for getting
I guess.
But I think they were already done from this point. Like, it was just taking that little bit extra to get past Ada Captain. I think that was the main problem. He gets a kill, okay, Althea does well, but then they're trying to just clear out where these remainder are, and they do very well in the fights, but there's just too much time gone wasted by all of Ada Captain's utility and positioning. And well, that will give FUT the lead. 3-2. Obviously, an incredibly costly round. Like, look at the rifles that are there. It's mostly Bulldogs for the side of FUT because no one was left standing.
Tough way to lose out that round.
Just kind of main again. Just walking up into the fight.
But there's a counter. Fnatic, they've got themselves the stun. Kayak's got the operator, but he couldn't get around there. Smokes kept them safe for a moment. Chronicle, good to defend after the first. And it makes it at least a positive trade. The stun not followed up on, and Kayak setting back up with the operator. He's in the angle, and he's out of the round. Cracks with some well-delivered shots. But there's still players on the site. There's still some to contend with. Rolling Thunder won't hit onto Crashies. He's still here, still defending the site, and dropping the spike to the floor with Yedege on 11 HP. And the spike down in the open time, going to tick away and allow some more Fnatic players to get into position. Alpha's here, Crashies is up on Satellite, and Boaster in heaven. They don't even, from the side of FUT, have an angle to fight from. They don't have an iota of where to take this. Planting and hoping for the best is the only hope they have.
Krax needs to hit some shots. Yedege's only goal is to play that off angle and try and deny the player from Dish. Krax is expecting players to come from above, but he's already spotted one of the bullets. He has found the kill, though. It's now left on to Yedege. Just 11 HP. That shot's for free. Spins back around, but not quite there. It is Crashies that ultimately does the work in this round, being able to catch them, delay them, and give Fnatic their third.
You know, man, the more I watch Crashies here, the more I think this is his map, man.
It just looks like every single fight he takes or angle he's holding or piece of utility that is put into play is something of sheer comfort. Like, it's effortless.
Cracks, though, he certainly put up a fight in this round. We've just seen the double from him there. He had a little bit more to say after they pushed out a spawn. Made it possible for Yedege. Luckily, Crashies responded just in time. He's matching Alpha here. Crashies is kill for kill. He's following him round after round. The operator of Alpha here, though, seeks out some victims early. We can see on the map it's not likely that he'll find anything. This is a much more direct play for the B site from the side of FUT. And of course, in a round like this, you expect that. They've got such light weaponry. Just a Sheriff.
It's full armor because of the Neonome. They knew they'd be able to get this online. Overdrive stunned himself, dead immediately. Well, that was the one sort of glimmer of hope for Zeus. I'll be honest, so far it's been a bit of a howler for the duelist.
Start poster. That flash was pretty perfect. Plenty of teammates there to back him up, and again, just not packing enough of a punch on that FUT side with the classics. Another round for Fnatic, and the lead back in their hands. This has been a pretty tight start to the map, Tom. We're seeing individuals pop off, we're seeing clutches go either way, but now we come into an interesting point. A lot of high-value ultimates for Fnatic with the lead. This is again where the Fnatic snowball becomes a danger.
That's not what you want to see. Like I said, he buys full armor in this because there's an expectation of, okay, I'll be able to sort of pad the gap a little bit to the weaknesses. And unfortunately for Zeus, this pick of Neon has basically just been him running straight into the bullets of Fnatic players. Hasn't had any real impact as of yet. Well, after the pistol and second round again, we're in a similar circumstance with Fnatic really fighting back. Aggressive position taken from Kayak. I've already mentioned the ultimates that are available. Cracks could deny a lot of them, but they are really taking map control. And Poster just ults the spawn. It's no way out for Cracks.
I can't believe that. Starting out this round, you have traps on either side of south side spawn, and 4 players just sat there on foot, waiting, knowing that their opponents have big ultimates and they're likely to use them, that some could come around those corners in A main if they're spotted there, orbital strike and so on. I doubt they expected to see that laser come down in their actual spawn. They might not expect this either. Alpha up close, peeked in by Yedije. FUT managing to trade it back to even numbers.
That's so much info. It lets them know there's only one man currently within that A site, but the rotations are incredibly quick. They will have seen that Boaster is full sprint in order to try and get back into position. Zeus already going to be delayed, denied, and that is Crashies to find another. Gets the timing spot on, and that clock is ticking. Nice work from our captain, though. He may have needed a little bit more the first time towards the end of the round that Zeus is still standing. But with the spike down on the deck, he needs this kill nice and fast. I don't know if he spotted him, but he's got the kill anyway. Down to the 1 versus 1, facing off against Kayak, but look at the ult.
10 seconds left.
That showstopper available, just waiting for him to round that corner, knowing there'll be someone there, and it's easy for Kayak in the end.
Zeus's only opportunity was to run out and plant on that corner. He was down to less than a second, so understandable. The side of Fnatic, this start to the round was a little bit insane. You don't often see the push into spawn, the orbital strike used there. We've obviously then got a rolling thunder to back up late round, and even despite using those 2 ultimates, Fnatic had more if they needed it. The showstopper to close out the round could have been there. But because Kayak was patient enough not to use it, that's a huge piece of utility and ult economy brought through into this round. Not where it's likely to be used either, because FUT have invested quite light. Again, this aggression comes in from Fnatic. They push north side. One's even activated the trap, and Yedije knows he's got a free kill. That's an upgrade to a weapon as well, and about as good of a start as you could hope for if you're a FUT fan. That's not a great follow-up, but at least they've dropped Alpha and taken another in the form of Boaster. This is quickly gone from a situation where FUT think if we do damage, this is great, to we should win this round.
Unless Crashies has something to say about it. We've highlighted him throughout the map. Someone that can and has been doing immense amount of damage. Finding an isolated battle is not going to be easy. Fakes the drop, knows where Zeus is. The shock dart is going to do a large amount of damage, but Mr. Fallen is just waiting for that contact. Sitting there with the stinger, and the time is ticking away. Nobody giving him anything. And while it's a pay save card Thrifty, second of the map so far. First for FUT, and more importantly, in my eyes, we finally had a round out of Zeus.
Well, that's it. Quiet for quite a while. Finally, he's there, able to step it up, claiming the site control, claiming a big weapon for his own usage, I suppose, or to defend his teammate a little bit later on. The fire now lit under them, and the scoreline not too far that you're going to be concerned, not too far apart. That was also a low-buy round for the side of FUT. It's also a round where you've seen more ultimates thrown in. Fnatic come in with just the showstopper now.
I'm just looking at the initial setup with the stun and a showstopper potential outside A. If they put this into the right place, it could end the round, but instead, because of the ultimate that's been used at null command, it leaves them stuck on the site.
Crashy's pushed Satellite as well. If he goes down, it's a big problem. Site control being held onto with both hands. Kayak and Chronicle, the ones doing the work there. Very late play, though, from Yedege. They're going to now pump the brakes, not just because of that showstopper, but because they were waiting for this, the chance to catch Crashy's off, but he spots them just about. And with that info now in their hand, so, well, Crashy's almost goes down anyways. They fall back. They reset into this much more passive play. I believe it's quite far away, but that chamber trap, if it's still online for B, it's a ton of information. But eventually, if FUT do just pump the brakes, if they do just wait, Fnatic will start sending players back the other way.
Normally you might expect a cosmic divide here, but with two players in the site, that could be counterintuitive. You're going to almost lock yourselves out of isolating some of those battles. I think they need to wait for someone to find a gap, and that gap was found. Adacaptain again has been so good from Sand. This has been his spot of the map, and well, the remaining two back in spawn.
There was a moment where Fnatic looked set to run away with this. Their economy was set up well, their ult economy miles ahead, and now they're just jumping into the fray. Adacaptain denied the ace, but the 4-piece surely has done enough. Yedege, well, he's around in the spawn. He's legging it, taking his time, taking the rope right now. This is risky. I mean, if Crashies lands the kill on Mr. Fallen, this could be the end. But Mr. Fallen is just dancing in and out of the angle, buying all the time. And he closes it out himself just as his teammate makes it there. When I saw him run to the north side, Tom, I'm like, is he getting his cam back? He knows there's not enough time. What's happening? No, he was rotating. Risky, but it worked out.
That's the thing. I think with the post-spawn they had, unless Mr. Fallen did something incredibly silly and aggressive, the chances are he would have had the time to get back around, and realizing that the plant from where he was sucked. Like, he would have had to take a hyper-aggressive position. Now, Fnatic's economy has been bitten. They're going to go for the Guardians in this round. Early knife. Trying to find out information, and it will. That's already Kayak spotted. He doesn't care, but maybe he should have done.
Yeah, I think he might next time around. Zeus with the quick punish. We see still plenty of players here with the push-up from Alpha here as well, about to meet a trap. I don't know if he can go past this, and he's already put his TP down to play on the site. Okay, trap already broken behind them, but FUT aren't worried. They've got a second window to spot a player if they do commit to that. Unfortunately on the site, they've already lost Zeus. Cracks though quick with the trade, forces Boaster forward and right into him in Sand. The shorty picks up the kill. Can't quite find the rifle that fell further back, and the spam in the back takes him down. It's Alpha, the last man alive, but also the only man that they knew where he was. He broke both of the trap wires. At this point, FUT know he's in main, so there'll be no element of surprise. The doors may be open, but open and shut case when it comes to this round. Big play needed from Alpha, and to be honest, big mistakes needed from FUT to give this one away.
There's 1,000,001 sound cues. There's a Star already down, ready as a Gravwell. They need to pretty much kill these guys within the next second, and he doesn't even know that Yedege is still here. From a slow few rounds for FUT, they have now been able to streak a multitude together of some strong individual plays, but also the awakening of their duelist again. Starting to have a couple of impact kills here and there. I'd also say I want to give a huge shout out to the way Adacaptain's been playing. I think he's genuinely dominated Sand, which is difficult to do because you have to open a door that makes one of the loudest noises in this game. And still it seems like he does it without people realizing.
Yeah, he's had a lot of control there. This time though, it looks like FUT are casting their eye in a different direction, the B side. But the same plan is there for Fnatic with a 3-player push up. Aggression for the north side that will be not declined, not denied, but ignored. Movement comes instead towards the B site. Zeus's ult activated, and the Rolling Thunder, although it does stun them up, I didn't think it would play that big a role. Zeus gets caught, still up in heaven. The spike goes in the other direction, though. This is a massive rotation from the side of FUT where, well, they've had success on sand. Why not go back to the A side?
Yeah, there's still crashes around, though. A quick rotation. That's the thing. You can go through the middle of the map and get there relatively soon, and Alfie is the biggest point of contention up above.
Teleport's ready. The one. Still Mr. Fallen up close. Well, he has been dealt with, to say the least, and the reveal hadn't even found its way to the site yet. Rax with a good attempt, but only the one to be found. The 4 players facing him down proved to be too much to handle. Had a captain, sure, had a star for the grab well, but they got posted up. There was no way he'd be able to swing deep enough to punish. This round goes to Fnatic, and it has been tough to separate these teams so far. That's why we need the second half.
Yeah, for sure. A very much back and forth from what we've seen from them. And for Fnatic, a loss in this next half would send them out of Kickoff, eliminated at the hands of FUT. We'll see if that happens after the break.
Welcome back, folks. We're either going to map 3 or we're sending, well, not one of these teams, we're sending Fnatic. That is strange to think, but we could be sending them out of Kickoff and all the way home. It looks like the fans at home think we're going to a third map. Tom, after the first half here, you agree with them?
I'm not confident, I'll put it that way. I'd say that I quite like the composition that Fnatic have for that defensive side. I think in their post plants they've been particularly good at times, but getting there versus this comp from FUT is not going to be easy. So I'm definitely nervous for them. I'll say as well that this time around, FUT don't seem to be as reliant on clutches as they did when they were facing off against Liquid. They still had some good individual plays, but things have been better overall. Also a little bit nervous by the fact that Zeus had a fairly quiet half, which, judging by the last map, is a rare thing.
Yeah, difficult standard once you've set it to meet every time, though. Yetajay, he's made it in. Cam spotted. Alfier is going to back off for a moment. He's a bit hesitant. And the door causing a problem. Now they think Captain is the main danger, and they are so wrong about that. Yetajay here for the trade. That, well, if Captain went down, Kayak at least finds something on the site. Crashies to emerge from the smoke. Yetajay heard him drop down. They know now where 2 of these players are. Dealing with them is a different story, you would think, but not when Zeus is on the scene. Left to Boaster, 38 HP, the spike in his possession, and the B site wide open. That's about where the advantages dissipate.
Yeah, if he doesn't win this clutch, I think that's every single pistol going the way
Would be.
of FUT. Doesn't have much to play with even. No smokes online. It's just going to have to come down to the firefights. He's been good in clutches before, but they are sending that low man in first. The plan to trade, knowing exactly where he is, and Fire doesn't even have the bullets at this point to do anything. Was hoping the right clicks would be kind, but not in this scenario. The lead taken back from FUT and putting Fnatic on the back foot.
And that's it. you never really think about something like pressure for a squad like Fnatic. They've been on the biggest stages and faced some of the biggest deficits there, and yet it never seems to get to them. But going out of Kickoff this early on home turf, somewhere that they're expected, I mean, for them, the standard is to take the trophy.
Yeah. Well,
That
that's
is-
it. Stage 2 last year, Stage 1 last year. The only place they faltered was Kickoff, and last year's Kickoff was more brutal. It was a scenario where they lost in playoffs in a single elimination.
Yeah.
This is not the case. This would be double losses for them. BBL and FUT, the Turkish squads, are the kryptonite, seemingly, of Fnatic. It's not done yet, though, but already, Yetajay is going to be kicking off this round. The expectation is to keep it clean, and well, after what happened in the first half, I don't think Yetajay wants to allow anything further.
No, it certainly doesn't look like it, coming in with a conviction and a hunger for blood. At this point, 7-6. FUT looking at that 8th round, should be locked in. For Fnatic, the next is going to be all important. Building up ult orbs here as well on a round where you don't really have a lot to say when it comes to combat. You're not going to be going for pound for pound unless you're Alpha Air with a Headhunter. And, well, he didn't even get a chance to take that pistol out. Chronicle has at least dropped out of Captain. That's an orb, and he's claimed an orb on the map as well. So we're building up some advantages for Fnatic.
Well, but they catch a timing on Zeus, although, oh, that well just faded, and that's the spike down. They know where Chronicle is. He's not going to land the shot. A single kill as FUT extend that lead a little further. But this is where the game should get going. Rifles will be onto the board. As you mentioned, a few ultimate orbs were farmed up in that last one. So Fnatic, that's always the interesting thing with the way this map works. The team on the attack, even if they don't get basically any kills, can be ahead in the orb game because of where they're positioned. Like, the defense have to actively fight for them. Whereas we've seen teams just walk around the map and retrieve those orbs. But now, though, do the defense go for something aggressive? It looks like the north side is their point of call.
You have to. In a round like this where there's so many weaknesses brought to bear with your weaponry, this is where you make up for that with some aggression. Nice flash. Follow-up not quite there from Zeus. Not a Captain putting on his best foot forward, but he won't catch them. The reload needed. The rest of the cavalry, though, rounds the corner, and Crashy's 7 HP. He isn't long for this world. That's the spike. Boaster steps in, but he's into heavy traffic. It's a big mistake. In the 2v3, taking a 1v1, he hoped they'd be caught off guard. They'd be looking the other way, and they are now. Too little, too late. The round goes to FUT convincingly, Tom, and at this stage of the game, facing elimination from Kickoff, that's a disastrous round for Fnatic to face.
Yeah, it's one of the most sort of expected strats on this map in low-buy rounds. Like, go for that aggressive push to the top side. I think even from the side of FUT, they might have expected to catch a lurker or one player on that side. In fact, they run into 3, but just managed to win those fights. And then, as you said, like, Boaster's attempt to turn the round back actually ends up nailing it down. Like, it allows for them to just basically take a 3v1 versus Alpha. That is going to put serious questions now into Fnatic's ability to turn this around. That's so many guns upgraded for FUT. They can invest into the rest and still have credits to spare. And on Fnatic's side, okay, Crashies, you've been great. You now need to be even better.
Yetajay's going to be facing an aid on the way through. I was waiting for a flash, but nothing appears. In fact, it is just the dry pinks, the swings in, and my goodness, it did not work. They have been shut down. But with these weaker weapons, perhaps they can make up for it elsewhere. Alpha on the rope finds nothing. Is eliminated immediately. And Chronicle with a single flash left, and Crashies, at least with the Guardian. They've got a 2v5 to try to recover. FUT reaching double digits this early on. This is a very scary prospect for Fnatic. They can feel that Masters slot slipping from their grasp with every passing round. And it's not just the fact that we're seeing FUT win, it's that we're seeing them win now convincingly. That's what's worrying, not just here in this round.
Oh, they have a chance to isolate out of Captain, but the cavalry has arrived. Counter stun thrown in. Well, it'll be a singular kill, but Zeus, as said, he's really starting to step up into this match. The defense is where he can pressure and push and take those fights. And the lack of damage is a concern. You're talking about players coming into this round with nearly 7,000 credits. No surprises that we're going to see a Fnatic pause thrown in here. This is where we look to Elmer Puddy, Milan, to have that chat with the team, because if not, they are going to be faltering. And that's the thing, like we said it when they lost to BBL, like when they came in last year, the expectation was that they beat everybody. This year, okay, we've seen mass upgrades. We talk about FUT as a fierce opponent. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the world that came in and thought this game would be easy, even after Vitality dismantled them. My worry was whether or not FUT would be able to recover in time. They did. Absolutely. In the meantime, Fnatic went on an absolutely battered Gentlemates. The difference is, FUT have that tenure. They've got 4 players who've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Been to internationals themselves and are not looking to give that up without a fight. And while Fnatic, in classic fashion, need to dig deep to find themselves a spot in this series, because right now, they are out. Like, we are talking about a team that the expectations are victory. And they are 3 rounds away from being sent out before even getting into those latter stages. I think about it this way. This is to fight for the top 4, to get your first point, championship point. We spoke to the team manager of FUT. That's important to them.
Of course, this year it's going to be important to anyone. Yeah. Every little helps.
2 teams making it through in the championship points, 2 champions, rather than last year's 1. It can make a massive difference.
Caution here.
This round, the small advantages, the little that may help. The rolling thunder for Chronicle. Many ultimates coming close to being online for both sides. But starting it out with rolling thunder in their back pocket and no aggression from the side of FUT. This is where they look to be a bit more direct. Moving to the B site, Kayak holding for the pushes that may come in from FUT, but there is nothing. They've just got a bit of a main control, having pushed 1 player up, and the rest, they're leaving to Destiny.
Wow. Destiny sometimes comes in the form of Ada Captain, but not this round. Boast has managed to shut him down. Probably the most influential player in this map so far. Oyedajay is on the outskirts, hoping maybe somebody walks back into a trip so he can get an opener, but it's not looking too likely.
30 seconds left.
Mr. Farland's plan, though, is an attempt to try and deny that plant. This is going to make things a little bit more shaky. In fact, with the spam through, Krax has made this one very interesting indeed.
Rolling Thunder has to be used to try to bridge the gap, and Alpha here is the one to connect the kill on the back of it, but his teammates are thinning out as we speak. Chronicle and Boast are already gone. He's only got Crashies, who is stuck in a corner on the site. A wall goes up the fast lane, and Crashies takes advantage of it, steps in for the kill on Zeus, but that's all he gets. Cracks 4 kills under his belt, but the op still to be crossed, still to be dealt with. They've made it to the site, and now Alpha's the one who has to step forward. It's already being diffused halfway. Alpha needs to swing now and confirm it's not all the way. He doesn't land the shot. Mr. Fallen needs to bait him into another duel, then Mr. Fallen wins! FUT, with enough time on the clock, have claimed another round, another nail in Fnatic's coffin, 11-6.
It really is. It's that Turkish prodigy of Althea, someone who has almost won everything there is at such a young age versus one of the fathers of Turkish Valorant in Mr. Farland, bringing superstars through this FUT system. And this time he gets the better of him. 11-6, 2 rounds away from FUT, keeping that back and forth going between these 2 teams. Showing that they are always to be feared. And while Zeus has decided that this round belongs to him, already finding the open on to Crashies, the other 3 have been forced back. This is actually an all-in round as well, Mitch. This is not a position where they have, oh, they've got a few light buys in there. They have spent everything and lost a man within 10 seconds.
no one wants to go for the 6 in a row for OT. Instead, it's stop them here and now. And an ult from Zeus and a deep push takes down Crashies. Crashies, who had his Hunter's Fury online, a big help when it comes to clearing a lot of these positions. We've seen it used proactively. We've seen it in post plants. Now we won't even see Kayak make it to a post plant. The spike has barely moved. No ground really taken. The ground being taken away from them, players being removed, even suppressed, revealed as a result. The information is there, the weaponry, the advantages for FUT, and 35 seconds with 3 players coming in from the same angle with a Cosmic Divide blocking them out. Fnatic, we're talking about them being knocked out of Kickoff. Well, I'll tell you what, they may be locked out of this round. There is a firing squad waiting for them. Orbital Strike is not covering what it needs to. It gives a little angle, actually. Works as a smoke poster. Fires back through it, and color me incorrect, but 12 seconds left. The spike needs to be planted, and Ada Captain still here. Buying time, running down the clock, and running down the numbers of Fnatic. 12-6. 1 more needed, and 6 chances to do it. How do Fnatic come back from this?
We came in at an even half. We came in a scenario where the game looked like a coin flip that could have gone either way. And since then, it has been nothing but Turkish domination. We've spoken about the tier 2, the players that come up, the superstars that are rising, but the fact is, I feel like in this map, it has been the players that have been there all along. The last year of this squad, cracks back on KO. Damn it, who could have seen that one working? But we have seen that resurgence from Zeus as well. I think he had 6 kills coming in. He's already matched that and more in the second half, just causing nuisances with aggression. And even at times where it seems like, okay, they've got the ults, they've got the weaponry, it doesn't matter because someone is going down within a second. And while we talked about the pause a little earlier, trying to slow down the momentum of FUT, this pause is not slowing anything down. This is life or death. This is a chance, a small chance at Bangkok, or it being completely gone. And more importantly, this is Fnatic going out of the top 4, like not even making it to top 4, which, as said, they were the champion in EMEA the last 2 splits within this region. They were a team a couple of years ago we were talking about could win all 3 trophies. And this could be the 2nd year in a row where they don't even get a shot at the first one.
That should win.
6 in a row. You know, if they win this, they'll be calling it the Elma putty pause for years to come.
The putty pause. It has a nice ring to it.
Putty pause. I wish you didn't say that.
I got Willy putty pause.
No, well,
Camera taken out.
Now I really wish you didn't say that. All right, well, 6 chances for FUT to close this out. First, they got to deal with Alpha here. I think he's soon to get a kill. No, the brim's not quite there. That's no Sage ponytail, and as a result, Yedajay gets one. And the cage gives him cover to fall right back. It's the free opening pick again. FUT have been working the map so well in these early duels.
Already, the man who was a big part of their victory yesterday has dissipated. Zeus, someone we heard Fnatic was after, is still standing, and look at the positioning. Look how far they have pushed in the round. He has boxed them in. Althea, though, looks to punch right through that box. A first kill will set them up, but there is the man of the moment coming in from behind. Yedajay picking up another. It will be left onto Crashies, a master of the clutch, but this one seems a clutch too far.
And it proves to be as well. FUT 13-6, 13-10, 2-0. They send Fnatic out of Kickoff. The kings of EMEA are dead. Long live the king.
One of those matches that I think FUT are going to be very happy to go forward. It takes a lot to recover from a defeat such as what they had versus Vitality, the new super team on the block that they have had to sort of bounce back from, overcome, even going into maps that they knew Fnatic were good at in that first one and managing to take it over the line. Then you have this second map, a map that has looked very good from Fnatic, one of their most confident picks, and in the second half, it was destruction. It was a flawless half coming out from the side of FUT, impressed to say the least. And that's the thing, we always know that this Turkish squad is never going to go out with a whimper. The fact is, though, they now have to continue their way through the lower bracket. A couple more victories needed if they're going to be making it to Masters themselves.
I'll tell you what, if I was Vitality, I wouldn't want this squad hungry for revenge. They're going to fight their way through that lower bracket. But for now, we have to say goodbye to Fnatic. That's a strange thing to have to verbalize. A squad we know this year is far from over for, but when it comes to Masters Bangkok, they'll be watching from home.
But that's the thing. This happened last year. They were given the time, and as said, they made it to the last 2 international events, winning EMEA both times. So we know with time this squad will build into something special. The thing is, this squad is seeming like something special right about now. But with that bounce back, with the response, with the resurgence, and I think there's so much more to come from them. I'm excited from the new boy Zeus. I think showing that a bad half doesn't mean a bad game. And getting 2 aces, you know, in a half, it's pretty good in itself. I'm sure that we are going to get so much more from FUT. And, well, I know that our game later today, the next game, is going to decide who they play against. Once again, they now have the time to watch their opponents prepare for what's going to be coming up next week.
That is always it. Sitting back and having the time to prep. We can't wait to see the level that these teams come into with next week. But the thing is, can't wait to see what Fnatic do with that downtime as well. It's quite rare we get to see them have that time to cook, and they'll come back to stage 1, a terrifying beast indeed. FUT, though, proceed on. And I'm sure many a team will be scared to face them. Their next opponent will be the winner of BBL and Liquid. And no matter what way that one swings, that's going to be a banger.
That's the thing, yeah. Liquid will be looking for revenge from basically being decimated earlier in the tournament by FUT. And BBL versus FUT, I don't think there's any rivalry there.
No, there's nothing.
None at all. Like,
do they even know each other? I doubt it. Probably never heard of each other.
Can't imagine they'd have any reason to want to beat each other. Jokes aside, the Turkish derby would be one hell of a matchup. And I think just seeing 11 versus Zeus game, that would be pretty insane. I think that would be crazy. Luckily, well, we don't have 11. We do have Zeus down on the stage right about now.
Mitch and Tom, you're getting ahead of yourselves. But for now, I'm joined by the Turkish god, the new kid on the block here. Zeus, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you what it feels to be able to win so many games at this point on this stage and to beat a team like Fnatic so dominantly.
Yeah, it feels very good, I think. And I was in game today. I was feeling it, so it was very fun.
You are feeling it. We got to talk about that Abyss. Normally, when you play Abyss, it's the Jet. We see you on the Jet on this map in the past. Today, you move over to a different agent, and you looked so good.
Yep.
So, what was the reason for this?
Just we need to make changes, and we try something new, and it worked actually.
Do you feel like you're one of those players that needs momentum? Like, if you get an ace on pistol,
Yes, I am, yeah.
and then you're going to get a second ace?
I need momentum to play, to get into the game, yeah.
So it was kind of nice for you to get that ace on pistol round, right?
It feels very good.
But you had 2 aces in one half. I think this is only like the second time that we've seen that on the stage. It doesn't happen very often. So once you got that second ace, did it kind of confirm in your mind, I can carry this game, doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to be able to do it?
Yeah, I said in my mind I can hold the game.
Every single game?
Yep.
And do you say this to your teammates as well, or they already know?
Yeah, they already know.
I love this. I love this. Moving on to the second map, the Neon too is a bit of a surprise. I think we were kind of theorizing, maybe because Fnatic, they played that chamber quite a few times. If you play Neon, you don't have a Cypher to stop you. Life is going to be quite nice. So was that the reason? Was that the plan?
No, I was surprised also. I just learned that before the game. I just learned that, but I'm going to play Neon. I didn't know before the game, just I knew it, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. I couldn't talk about.
So when did you find out you were playing Neon? Was this like today, yesterday?
Before the match.
Today?
Yep, before the match.
Before the map veto?
Yep.
After the map veto? Like once you realized you were playing
before
Fracture?
the match, actually.
Oh, wow.
Before the first map, yep.
Okay, so what was your reaction when you were I guess Gaia said you're playing Neon.
Yeah, I think react anything. Like, I can play anything.
How much practice have you had on Neon, on Fracture? 0? Oh my goodness. So
That's my first time on on Fracture.
oh, is that why you accidentally stunned yourself
Yep,
that one time? Yeah, it happens. It happens. I think we forgive you. It was the first time we
Thank
forgive
you, thank you.
We forgive you. I think today what was very impressive is after your loss in the upper bracket, you know, it was a very
It
dominant.
was very bad to lose, yeah.
It wasn't a good loss, that you recovered so well. So what was the process this week? What did Gaia say to you guys? How did you manage to recover this well?
We were more relaxed after we lose the game, because losing game give us a space, give us a comfortable place.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Like an opportunity to think about things, you know, to learn a little bit more. Okay. Lastly, before I let you go, is it true that there is a rivalry between you and BBL? Is that real? FUT versus BBL, is that a rivalry?
I think so.
You think so? Okay,
Yeah.
so does that mean you want Liquid to win today?
No, like the BBL.
Oh, you're still supporting BBL. All right, okay. I mean, the boys, they love that. The crowd love that. I thank you so much, Zeus, for joining me, and we'll see you here next week.
Thank you.
Well, that was the first elimination match. We got another one. As you guys heard, it's going to be Liquid versus BBL. We'll be back right after this break.
You too.
Red Bull gives you wings.